Hey guys, welcome to Cold Antler Farm, and I'm kicking off a series all about raising backyard chickens. We're all about the baby animals around here. This right here is a buff Orpington chick. She's about 4 or 5 days old. She was bought from a local feed store that sold day-old chicks, and I want to make a series of videos for folks that are brand new to raising chickens, that maybe impulse bought some chicks or are just getting into raising livestock for the first time. And for you guys, this video series is for you. So for those of you who don't know, I'm not just a vlogger and a blogger, I also am a writer, and that's how I got started out online, by talking about my books and sharing stories of my farm. And one of those books I wrote is called Chick Days. Chick Days is a beginner's guide to raising chickens. And this book is made to focus on 3 species: the buff Orpington, the Rhode Island Red and Americana, although it doesn't matter what kind of chickens you raise. The book takes you with full color photographs through every day of raising brand new chicks. It's a great guide if you're entirely brand new to this and not sure what to do. Honestly, we could have called the book How Not to Kill Your Chickens, and it's going to be what we're going to talk about over the next couple of videos. The first place I recommend getting chickens is mail order. There are hatcheries all over America and Canada and other countries that will deliver day-old chicks right to your local post office, which you then go and pick up. This is the most, by far, common way to get a hold of baby birds. The problem is that a lot of these places want a minimum order of 25, and a lot of us just starting out with chickens don't really want 25. So how do you deal with that? Well, you go on an order with some friends. You get a hold of some chicks from a feed store that is placing orders for the store. They may have, in some states, a rule about how many chicks you're allowed to take home. Some states allow a minimum of 3 or 6. I know here in New York State, you can't leave a feed store with chickens unless you're taking at least 6. But either way, mail order is the most common way to get chicks. The reason being that even if you get them from your local feed store, they ordered them in the mail from someone. So here's what you need to know about hatcheries. Look them up online and do some research. Some hatcheries have a better reputation than others. There are hatcheries that really specialize in just 2 or 3 chickens at a time, going to small backyard beginners. So if you're looking for just a couple of chicks, I strongly recommend places like My Pet Chicken and other places like McMurray Hatchery. Those websites allow you to order just 1 or 2 immature or baby birds to raise yourself. Another option is, totally separate from the hatchery route, is to go to a farm and buy live chickens or eggs for hatching yourself. Now, this is great in 2 ways. It's great if you understand enough about chickens to know what you're buying, and it's also great if you don't want to deal with the whole mail order shamble, which is in no way bad for the birds or for the people, but it might save you on some postage. And the birds you're buying from farms usually have already been started, and they know how to eat and drink. And if you didn't know that, yes, you do need to help these birds learn to eat and drink when you get them. No one's going to be their mom, so someone has to be. I think the best way to get started with chickens, if you have no experience with them at all, is to forego the whole raising chicks thing and just get 3 one-year-old laying hens from a local farm or from Craigslist, or even order started pullets, which are going to cost more. They're going to be $15 to $30 a bird from hatcheries, and you're going to eat it when it comes to shipping and handling. But those birds have already been feathered out. They're adults. They're going to be sexually mature in a couple of weeks and start laying eggs for you pretty soon. And if you're brand new to raising chickens, it's kind of nice knowing that you're through the woods of raising baby animals and you're reaping the rewards of your own homemade omelets and quiches a lot sooner. So if it's a family project, if you're new to raising chickens and you're worried about making mistakes with young birds, that's fine. Spend the extra dough or go to a local farm and get younger chickens from someone else. And in a future video, we'll talk about telling how old exactly a chicken is when you buy it. But for right now, that's just one way you can go and forgo this whole chicks video series and just get yourself some older birds. So I described getting day-old chicks from a hatchery, and I also described the option of buying adult birds from someone reputable in your area or from a hatchery online that sells started pullets. But there's a third option, and for those of you that are extra frugal and extra cavalier, you may like that option the best, and that is to find a neighbor that has a rooster with his or her flock of laying hens and get a hold of some fertilized eggs and incubate them yourself. It's definitely the cheapest way to go. I mean, if you get a dozen eggs right out of the chicken coop and they're going to pay, ask you $3 or $4 for those eggs, and you take them fresh right into your incubator. Incubators are inexpensive too. You can get a styrofoam incubator for I think around $30, much less used online or on eBay. And you can hatch out a dozen chicks for, I'm not going to do the math, but those are nickel and dime birds, literally. If you're getting if a friend has fresh eggs that are fertilized that have not been in the refrigerator for any length of time or not at all, you can fertilize those chicks and raise them yourself. So those are your options. You can order day-old chicks, you can order adult birds or buy adult birds, or you can please do not fertilize your own chickens. But you can buy fertilized eggs and hatch those out yourself. So either way, those are the 3 ways I recommend getting chickens. And in the next video, we're going to talk about setting up a brooder, feeders, water fonts, temperature, and getting the birds from babies to feathered out beautiful beasts ready for their first ever days in the sun. Thanks for watching, and again, this is Cold Antler Farm. Are you ready for some chicken?